So today was my first day off in 11 days. I put in, oh jeepers, what was it? Last week alone, I put in 21 hours of overtime. And like my job is physically demanding, so working like 10, 12 hour shifts consecutively. I mean, granted, your body's going to be moving more, so your levels are going to be going down as well too, but I've noticed now, like being exhausted and sleep deprivation really does a whammy on what my blood sugars are. Especially with this pump, it is so annoying. It goes off and it beeps. Like if you're going low, and like I'll drink some juice, I'll have some candy, and then I'm still moving around, still being active, and it goes beep beep beep, and then it wants a new calibration. I know it does it to be on the safe side to make sure I'm not going low, but I know I'm not going low. It's a give and take here. That's the only way I can really think of describing that. But now today, like I said, is my first day off in 11 days, and my levels have been very stable, but I haven't had much to eat either. I'm down in Coon Rapids. There we go. Coon Rapids, Minnesota. So my mom flew in, so we're gonna go to the horse track tonight. But I've noticed that driving down the road, and I haven't done anything physical or active, but I mentally got recharged for the most part last night, and then on the way down here, my levels have been stable, and getting like 2 hours down the road, and you hear beep, beep, beep coming from underneath your seatbelt, and it wants a new number put in to calibrate with to make sure it's supposed to be a 99. And on that note, there are so many firsts with this trip. Trying to check your pump, I feel like, is on the same lines as texting and driving, distracted driving, because you're actually like focusing on it, but your eyes are supposed to be up here and not down here as you're, driving. And ooh, that light just shifted. As you're driving and as you're, doing stuff on your pump, and there are so many firsts with this trip. It's very annoying. But, I guess it'll be a good test trial before we go to Europe in a month. I brought my backup insulin pens, my short acting and my long acting, and then I brought 2 of my infusion sets because I'll have to change my site out tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. I've only changed my infusion set at Corey's house. That's the only other place that I've ever changed it out. So it's always been at home. So I have the comfort of all of my supplies in the laundry room and never had to worry about it. But I did bring the charger for the transmitter too in case something goes wrong there. But there's a lot of new firsts on this trip. And I think I'm overthinking it. It's just because I've never had to go through it before, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So, Canterbury Park, horse track, racing, whatever. Horse Park is coming up in a little bit here, which I think I'm almost late. I keep looking for a clock. I'm used to doing videos at home, and the clock is always like right up here. And, ooh, light. This light is not agreeable with me. I am still trying to work on more cooking videos and everything. This is just the first chance I've had that I actually look like a decent human being. So, yeah, I'll see how all of this goes too by the time I get back on Sunday. So, but I lost more money than I actually won at the horse track, but I only gamble what I'm willing to lose forever, so I was only down $15. And once you start losing your bets, the fun just kind of goes poof. So once I got situated in my hotel room and got a lot more relaxed after the last few weeks, my levels completely planed out beautifully, which was very, very good. So in a weird way, this annoying little thing is helping me get to know my body a lot better than I was expecting. So, and what I mean by that is, so like if I know I'm getting run down and I know, I'm not getting enough rest or things like that, or just overly stressed out, if I feel like a burning itch in the back of my throat, it's just a matter of time that I will get sick, and it's almost always for like 2 days. I didn't get that after all of the overtime I put in, and apparently when I am exhausted and depriving myself of sleep for days on end, my levels just run lower, because I think I was getting about 8 hours of sleep this weekend, and my numbers just went back to where they were at. So that's good to know, because I was worried and paranoid about like having to go in to my nurse that I see all the time to get another referral to go back to the endocrinologist and get all this stuff figured out, because if you call the Medtronic hotline, they will not touch that whatsoever. They don't want anywhere near that legal area. So, and I get that, but my levels have gone back to normal, back to where they're supposed to be. So we'll see what the rest of the week looks like, depending on how much overtime I'll have to work. But and the weekend was a really good dry run. I was really nervous about having to change my infusion site somewhere other than home. I know it's just a matter of time before it happens, but I don't like to change the way things are. Like, if I know things work and I know where things are, they don't need to be changed. So at the hotel room, I was worried about like housekeeping walking in, because they were like one door away from my room, and I was worried about people finding stuff in the garbage, or about like something just going wrong and having to call, the hotline for help, and not having enough supplies, and not having like a fridge or like the bag that I had my supplies in. I was worried about making sure I found somewhere to put it where I wouldn't lose it, where it wouldn't get stolen, lost, whatever. Nothing went wrong with this. Actually, I think like the worst part about all of this was just the stress of driving. There was a girl, I was stuck on an on-ramp for almost 45 minutes, and this girl had shaved half of her head, and she was wearing like tie-dye tank top, skirt, playing a banjo as a guitar that was not even tuned. And I had to sit there and listen to it for almost an hour. I can never live in the cities. Minneapolis and I are not the best of friends, but that was the worst of the whole weekend. And I did notice too, I hate crowds, okay, but when we were in IKEA, it's right next to Mall of America. Mobs of people everywhere. It doesn't matter how much you get out of the way. People always run into you, and you're always running into people. But I saw like 4 people with like CGMs on their arms, and I forget what the name of it's called. It's on the commercials all the time, where you take your iPhone, you go boop, and then it tells you what your blood sugar is. It's on the tip of my tongue, I can't think of it. But I saw like 4 people with those. So, and granted, there are a lot more people in Minneapolis, St. Paul, than there are where I live, but I don't know. There was a lot of worrying for nothing, but the weekend away doing all of this stuff so far has been a good precursor to a longer trip. So, but now I get to, I don't know what he is doing. My cat has been by himself alone for 2 nights, and he wasn't very happy about it, so he's been running around, running off some steam. Yeah, I was just really worried about this weekend and how things were going, and then with the change in my levels and all that stuff. But I was introduced to a store called Home Goods, and there's so much stuff in there, so much crap you don't know that you need or want until you see it. But I didn't know they had like food and like drink stuff. So I have sugar-free coffee syrup, 0 carbs completely. So I got 2 of those. My mom got me 2. So I'm excited to try those. I might do a video just on different types of sugar-free coffee beverages. That's all I have for this. I still have to get unpacked, put stuff away, and start meal prepping, cooking a bunch of stuff to put in the freezer for the next week or 2. But I am a little more hopeful for how Austria, Germany, Switzerland's going to be. Still paranoid about the plane, but otherwise didn't have any other problems. But yeah, I'll see you next week. Do you mind? Hey, get your tushy out of there.